Today we're going to be taking a look at the Switch fighting stick for the Arcade1up. So what is it and why would you want to get one? So this allows you to play Nintendo Switch games on your Arcade1up. And the reason why I'm really interested in this is because the Nintendo Switch is made for a 16:9 television, and the Arcade1ups have two resolutions. The first generation is a 5:4 monitor, and the third generation and beyond are 4:3. So did the company get it right? Did the company know and understand the compatibility with the different units? So we're going to be testing them today on a Final Fight, which is like the Gen 1 Marvel Superheroes. We're going to check and see if it's any good. And what about the gameplay on a Nintendo Switch on an Arcade1up? Is it going to be laggy? Is it going to be cropped? Is it any good? Let's find out.
Right, we're going to jump right into the most interesting thing that I found about the Intech Gaming. The thing that I, really wanted to know is, what about the compatibility for the different monitors? Arcade1up has different size monitors when it comes to aspect ratio and resolution. Okay, everything's 17-inch, but it's not 16:9. It's either 4:3 or 5:4, two different resolutions and aspect ratios. And when it comes to compatibility, when you're trying to do mods, you have to specifically buy scalers that are meant for each type monitor. But Intech Gaming, this new Switch unit and the various units that they come out only has like one PCB to connect HDMI to your monitor. So I'm wondering, is it compatible with both type monitors? Well, I'm happy to tell you, when I connected it to both a Final Fight and a Marvel Superhero, it just works. Whatever HDMI input that you give to this device, it will display on those monitors. So think about all the video game consoles that you could upscale or convert into HDMI. As long as you get an HDMI input, it'll display on the Arcade1up cabinet. So this unit is about $130 right now. So just for that piece alone, okay, you have something. Now, you can buy parts on eBay that just manages the scaling of a signal to the LVDS that's on the back of the monitor. This includes that, but it also includes a control panel. So that takes me to the second thing. The second question is it possible to take this control panel and put it on all the various Arcade1up cabinets? So let's eliminate one for sure. All those cabarets that are out there, like the Pac-Man, where there's a side panel that basically sandwiches the control panel, this isn't going to work. It's not going to fit in those designs. Not a big deal, because most of those cabinets are like a vertical screen, and I don't really see anyone buying these to mod a vertical one. It'd be more for the horizontal games anyway. So the Gen 1, say like a Street Fighter, the older Street Fighter, not the new Big Blue, or the Final Fight, or the Atari 12-in-1, this fits perfect like a glove. It's meant for the Generation 1 Arcade1up cabinets. But what about Marvel Superheroes, that Gen 3 Arcade1up cabinet where they changed some of the designs? Does it fit in there? Well, it does. You can totally fit it in and make it work, except for there's this big gap in the back because the control panels are longer. So although it can sit on top of it, it doesn't really fill it perfectly. So you could probably make it work, but you're gonna have to figure out a way to cover the back end so things don't really fall into it. What I recommend is Intech Gaming come out with a different control panel for those Generation 3 cabinets. They maybe have a few more SKUs in their manufacturing, where they can say this one's meant for the Gen 1 Arcade1up cabinets, and they list all the models that it's perfectly compatible with. But then when it comes to the Generation 3 and 4 and beyond, they can make some custom control panels that are for that. So what about playing Switch games on an Arcade1up cabinet? Does that work? Is that something that you would enjoy doing? Well, I tested with it, and this really just kind of reminded me how poor quality the Generation 1 monitors are. I got a lot of noise and stuttering on it, and when I connected that device, and I fed my Switch into the Final Fight screen, you could kind of see some noise, and it was just night and day difference when you plug that sucker into the Marvel Superheroes, which is the newer cabinet that has a really, really nice monitor. And so it's a little frustrating for me to kind of review this unit, because I want the best of the best. And the control panel doesn't fit in the newer cabinets, but the monitor looks so great on it. Another one of my complaints is I want to play retro games on the Nintendo Switch, like Mario Brothers and all of those NES catalogs, the Super Nintendo catalog. It'd be kind of cool to be able to play that on an Arcade1up cabinet. But the Switch doesn't know that you're targeting a 4x3 screen, so it's still projecting it or delivering it in a 16:9 container, and then the Intech Gaming PCB is basically squishing that screen, and it looks okay if you're playing modern games. There's still a squish, but it still looks pretty good. Like say you're playing Mario Kart, the gameplay is okay. Mario's a little elongated, but it's not that big of a deal. But when you play the retro games, it's really pronounced that it's being squished, and you have a 4x3 screen with a bezel. Like, we shouldn't have a bezel on a game that could fill the screen. So Intech Gaming, that'd be really nice if they had an extra button that could kind of change the scaling on that PCB to say, I don't want to be able to, I don't want it to squish the screen. I want it to fill it out without doing any stretching. That would be really nice. But right now they don't have that. I'm hoping with new firmware updates, that's something that they could change. Now, some of the newer units that are out there that are not for the Switch, they're targeting like be able to play Sega Genesis, be able to play Nintendo. These are some of the future products that are coming out. And it's all inclusive, like all together. Like you basically take a Nintendo cartridge, plug it into the top, and it basically has an NES built in, HDMI out to the PCB, and it'll work right on your Arcade1up. That's exciting because the buttons and controls will be designed specifically for a Nintendo, and then the output is specifically designed for Arcade1up cabinets. Like the entire game, play those retro games. It's probably going to be a pretty good experience. Now, they're going to do some emulation inside the system. I watched some videos from Mad Little Pixel, and he showed that the sound and video audio was pretty good. So you're already got some compromises when you're dealing with Arcade1up. We're not really looking for perfection. We're just looking for fun. So I think maybe those devices are going to be really, really good. But let me know down in the comments, what is it for you? Do you want to play Switch games on your Arcade1up? If you do, and you're okay with the the compatibility of the screen's going to be, kind of squished a little bit, you could still probably have a lot of fun with that. But let me know if that's what you're interested in. Maybe you're also interested in playing Nintendo Sega Genesis games on it, and you're really looking forward to those other designs. Yeah, I'm really pushing for that, right? But if you're like me, let me know down in the comments if that's something that you're more interested in. But hey, I think that a lot of people out there want variety and want like little different pieces. There's some people out there I've seen that have modded their Arcade1up cabinets, and they had to buy all the parts to be able to play Switch games on their Arcade1up. This is a good solution because it's all in one. So I got to give it to them and their continuous development on things that are just like plug and play for the Arcade1up community. That's cool. I know a lot of people have been commenting the ETA Prime way to put like a Raspberry Pi in an Arcade1up. There's some people that are like, that's super easy, but there's another set of people that is too difficult for them. It's not a project they want to get into. They're looking for something that's more plug and play. And for this price, that's pretty cool. This price, $130 or so. And I don't know if those prices will fluctuate, but it's plug and play. And I have to give it to them. They did make the installation really easy. So links in the description for this if this is something you're interested in doing. And thank you so much for watching. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.